2024 Las Vegas Grand Prix race notes. Dick's race notes. Hey Sabrina, here are my race notes for Vegas. Number 1. Max wins his 4th championship in a row. An amazing feat that was also pulled off by another Red Bull driver, Sebastian Vettel. In my opinion, this is Max's second best title, as I still feel like his 2021 triumph over Lewis Hamilton was more impressive. But this year was definitely second best in that Max started the year out driving clearly the best car and built a commanding lead in the championship early on, and then the wheels came off, figuratively speaking, for Red Bull as McLaren and then Ferrari caught and passed Red Bull. Max's drive 2 weeks ago in Brazil was brilliant, and in Vegas, Max did what he needed to close the season and his 4th championship out. Congratulations on a great victory, and one that did not come easily. Number 2. When the temps are low, Mercedes is a threat to win. Not sure why this is the case, but Mercedes was mighty impressive this weekend, as Russell did what he needed to do to dominate the weekend, and Lewis put in a great drive through the field. Number 3. Carlos and Charles are certainly getting a bit chippy, as Carlos is looking to snag another win before he heads off to Williams in 2025. If you are Carlos, you know that you only have now 2 more legitimate chances to win for a long time, maybe ever again, and he is looking to pick up another win or 2 before the season ends. I'm pretty sure he is not concerned if he is no longer on Charles's Christmas card list. Number 4. Williams had another fraught weekend, as Franco Colapinto had another huge crash. It makes you wonder how much more this little team can take between now and the end of the year. And with the rumors flying that Franco will actually take the second Alpine seat instead of Jack Doohan, you have to be wondering if Alpine is wondering whether or not they can afford the crash damage. The truth is, the great drivers start off fast and crazy, tending to crash a lot, and then tone it down and learn to become truly formidable. Better to tame a driver that is fast but crazy than to speed up a slower and sane driver. Number 5. With 2 races to go and the Drivers' Championship decided, there is still the Constructors' Championship that is up for grabs. It should be fascinating because there are plenty of drivers who are just going to go for it. Number 6. Last comment is that it sure feels like the 2025 season could be epic, as there is no team out there with a huge advantage over the other teams. Sure, McLaren looks strong, there are plenty of other teams nipping at their heels. This coming season could be mega. Sabrina's race notes. Nice, I agree with you, and here are my thoughts. Number 1. Nice to see George make it seem so easy. It was him running his own race. He paced himself. Very mature drive. Considering Mercedes keeps saying they don't know why they were fast, all the more I'm impressed by his performance. It was strategy and execution. Was it because it was a cold track? Number 2. Lewis really fought his way up from P10. He probably wanted P1, but those tires must have held him back from fighting with his teammate. He mentioned it during his last laps. He clearly had a confidence in his car this weekend that we haven't seen pretty much all year. Number 3. Ferrari's calls were quite confusing. What was up with the pit stop call for Carlos? Did Charles's overtake into turn 1 when Pierre and Carlos were battling start the dominoes falling regarding his tire management, specifically graining, where his actual tire temp didn't match up with the surface temp? Since most seem to believe that tire deg would be low in Las Vegas, he might have taken the opportunity, believing since both he and Carlos have generally good tire management, that maybe he didn't really consider that taking the open door from the Carlos-Pierre clash would critically harm his race, and strategic calls would allow him to gain further advantage later in the race. I say this because going into the race it seemed like everyone believed that this track suited the Ferraris. Technically, they did better than everyone except the unforeseen Mercedes, but I digress. They very easily could have had both on the podium. He, as any racer, was thinking about himself, and probably the team indicated they wanted that P1 and P2 for constructors. Unfortunately, I think his decision to go for that opening bit him. Maybe the idea was right, but the execution harmed him overall. That therefore left him vulnerable to the factors afflicting everyone, having to do a second pit stop. And as we saw, his teammate wasn't going to concede and be behind him. I think with these remaining races, Carlos has much to prove and wants to show everyone Ferrari's loss, not to mention he is a strategic thinker. It's possible that this is the last time he is in a front-of-field car. He needs to leave knowing he pushed and left nothing out. I feel for Charles, but he's going to have to realize the status quo has changed and will change again when Lewis arrives. His in-race strategy calls and willingness to be more elbows out is vital. This is where his maturity needs to show. All that said, this race continues Ferrari's campaign to win the Constructors. Nice points haul. Number 4. Liam is definitely elbows out, and it's usually against Sergio. It seems he has a way of finding Sergio, but this race he went after Kevin, one who isn't reluctant to be elbows out. Both of them are aggressive, both are defenders, both are great passers, yet each of them gave the other respect and room. Sadly for Liam, it was P16. And did you see the 3-into-1 corner with Sergio, Liam, and Kevin? Number 5. McLaren must have been happy with the Mercedes 1-2, yet at the same time it must have been gut-wrenching. McLaren has made such progress this season. It was tough watching Lando in the media pen post-race. He worked hard and overcame a lot of hurdles, had a lot of firsts this year, but sadly it wasn't enough. I think these next races and the winter break will be critical for him. He needs to dig deeper than ever before, build up his resilience like never before. I believe he can do this. If McLaren give him and Oscar a similar or even better car, he needs to go out there no holds bar mentally and leave it all on the track. Number 6. Max seemed to not have his claws out. He was very sensible. He seemed to realize that the Mercedes were in a different class for this race, and he needed to focus on the completion of the race and navigate the various amounts of traffic throughout the race. I wonder how much the wrong wing muted his zeal. His approach to how he handled the Ferrari showed restraint. I also wondered how much of this is about maturity. He learns with every race and knew he just needed to do what he needed to do to win. He didn't need to be super aggressive. Rather, he needed to complete the race ahead of Lando. Number 7. Kevin did a one-stop. Maybe he didn't get the points, but considering his battles, that's quite impressive. And Nico had a fantastic result. A little under the radar because of the other battles, but it's great to see a Haas bring home points. Considering this brought Haas back in front of Alpine in the Constructors, who had Pierre's retirement and Ocon's struggles, it just shows how these races can change team fortunes and why we need to keep watching the next week's races. Number 8. Fernando fought the whole time, and he was so close to scoring points. It was sweet to see him congratulate Max, specifically that cheek pinch. Number 9. For this race, I think pit strategy was key. Seems like when you went in, how much traffic you had when you got out, and the uncertainty of tire life really affected drivers' abilities to do management and strategy. Surprising, since going into the race, conventional wisdom made it seem cold temps wouldn't affect tire deg, and therefore we won't see more than one pit stop. Was it about how you brought up tire temp that impacted your tire management? Was it too quick temps or graining, which would then degrade the tires quickly? I also wonder about other factors, wind and debris on the track, which might have impacted setup. Since the track had used during the day for street traffic, I wonder if this made slight variations between sessions, which impacted cars, especially once in park for a main. Number 10. This was great racing, hard and competitive, up and down the grid. Now, do I think Las Vegas is the best race and deserves to remain on the calendar? I actually remain neutral. It was definitely better than last year. I do think next year will be the clincher for me. I think we need more data to determine if this race has sustained value.